Thrown in at the deep end by Brian Clough after just 2 games for the reserve team. This is big time because it's at Anfield against Liverpool. Take us back to that moment in your life and how big of an opportunity did that feel like at the time?
Yeah, well, you know, it seems like yesterday, I'll be honest with you. No, I've gone up, obviously I'd just come over, been training with the reserves most of pre-season and was asked to travel, was sub for reserves on the Monday night. Obviously the first team were up at Liverpool. When I came in, sub for reserves, came on with 10 minutes to go, came in on the Tuesday morning, me and Phil Starbuck and said, you're travelling to Anfield. So I thought, no problem. Because Brian Clough used to do years ago would sometimes bring younger players up to the first team to kind of help with the kit, you know, just a bit of experience. So that's what I thought was going to happen. Met the players at the hotel up in obviously Liverpool. Went to Anfield, was help putting the kit out, and Brian Clough said, "Oh, what are you doing?" I said, "Well, I'm just putting the kit out." He said, "Well, we put that gear on there," and that was it. And obviously I didn't have too much time to think about it. I do remember his advice that he gave me before the game was, which I literally made a career out of. He said, "I've watched your pre-season." He said, "You can control it." I said, "Yeah." He said, "You can pass it." I said, "Yeah." He said, "You can move." And I went, "Yeah." He said, "Well, just do those things." Now, when I say that to people, they nod their heads as if, well, every professional footballer should be able to do that. But believe it or not, they can't. And and that was the foundation of my career. Control it, pass it and move. Obviously, the higher level I went up, particularly when I was playing in Europe, had to do a bit quicker. But that was it. And yeah, off I went and couldn't believe my luck, really. Just the luckiest kid ever. When Martin got the job and obviously gave me a shout, you know, I thought, yeah, listen, once a few things fell into place, I was ready for it. But it's not going to be easy, but we'll have a good go. Obviously, I've huge respect for Martin and the club, so it just fell into place nicely, and looking forward to it. As you said, I've seen the team a number of times over the last year or two. It's going to be tough, but hopefully with maybe 1 or 2 signings, bit of luck, you know, we hopefully be competing. When I was going in with Martin at Forest, I met the owner. Martin was already in there a few weeks, and we kind of said we'd never work at club level together. International football, obviously, a different animal. And I met the owner in London, and as soon as I sat down with him, had a little chat, I should have just walked out. I just wasn't feeling it. He said 1 or 2 things to me I wasn't comfortable with, but obviously I had a little bit of loyalty, obviously, with Martin. I thought, listen, I'd go in and try and help out or whatever, even though he'd only been there a few weeks. So, yeah, that was a time. Again, that was a coaching job, slightly different in terms of management.
Did you tell Martin you didn't like the vibe?
Yeah, I did.
That's the current owner now, the Greece.
But when I met him again...
What happened in that?
Do you know, we were talking about the contract situation. He spoke about me going in with Martin. I said, well, obviously, I'm not comfortable with the contract. She said, well, basically along the line is, you've got enough money. That was a comment thrown at me.
Wow.
I actually said,
nice.
It's not about... when you say it's not about the money, but I always say to people, it's about your self-worth, what you think you're worth. So when he said that to me, I should have just said, you're not for me, and gone out.
Yeah.
But I had Martin in the back of my mind. I thought, no, listen, I've obviously huge respect for Martin, so I'll kind of get over that little hurdle with the owner. And obviously I still went in there. But then you sit down with the club, you can have all those positive chats. I think I was asked a couple of years ago, and I spoke to 1 or 2 clubs, and a club offered me a job maybe, I don't know, maybe 2 years ago. And it's all great, it's all positive and good feedback, but then they could give you an offer, you go, no, I cannot sign that contract. I can't. Thank God I'm not that desperate or that I need to sign it. Because, again, I go back and I always say to people, you have to have a bit of self-worth, what you think you're worth to a club.
There's so many pitfalls, man.
Oh,
It just feels like, where's the joy? Like I say, where's the joy?
No, you're not going to get it right. Listen, I'm not in a position where someone's going to offer you a 4 or 5 year deal and you can bring 10 staff, which of course, but you got to give yourself a bit of a chance, because I always think if you sign any contract, and I see managers doing it all the time now, they're desperate, they sign a deal. I always think as soon as you go in and you've signed a deal that's basically rubbish, what they must be thinking of you. They must be thinking, like, this guy, he's signed for anything. Listen, he's got no bargaining power for anything in future, whether it be recruitment or we can get rid of him when we want, because a contract literally means nothing.